My name is Bryan Rogers, and I have been keeping this secret for about a month now. In May 2nd, 1963, was the day I was involved in a plane crash. Let me just get straight to the story. It was just an ordinary flight for me. We took off from Los Angeles, and we were headed toward Mexico City. Our plane had finally reached the city of Mexico, but that's when this thing broke out of the cargo area and started to just consume everyone and everything. Everyone was screaming for their lives while I stayed in shock. I was horrified and was about to cry when I saw adults and kids get tear apart. I was about to vomit, but that's when the creature noticed me and was about to lunge at me. I got through my senses and threw myself across the other aisle of the plane. The creature hit the wall of the plane, cracking the window during the process. I ran to the front of the plane and started banging on the cabin doors. I wanted to warn them from what was going on, but the creature was already behind me. I turned around, and it looked like it had gotten bigger. I again dodged the creature, which threw itself against the cabin door, breaking it open. The creature started to attack the pilots. I was sick to my core. What had I done? I still have that guilty feeling that I had killed two innocent people, and the only people that could have helped me through this situation. I was on my own now, so I hid in the bathroom, praying the creature didn't notice me. I felt the plane starting to go in a nosedive. I hung on tight and prayed for dear life I make it out alive. I heard an explosion and the wall behind me exploded, sucking me out during the process. I remember feeling a lot of pressure on my chest and air hitting my face really badly to the point where I couldn't even breathe. I woke up to find myself floating in a pond. I got up and I saw in the distance a massive fire. I also heard some people screaming, then a roar. A few minutes after the roar, something rose from the trees. It was a massive creature. It walked on all fours, was covered in flesh, and even pieces of the plane still attached on to the creature. I've never told a single soul on what happened that night. I don't even know where that creature was, or if it was already discovered. For my safety, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Later on, the plane was reported missing and the US government assumed the Mexican military shot it down. I want to tell everyone what happened, but I know it will come with serious consequences. But if I don't say anything either, it will also lead to serious consequences too. I don't know if I could keep the secret up for too much long. But there is one thing I'm still worried about the most. Where is this thing?
Sir, I got bad news. It seems as if this creature is covered with a small level of radiation, but if we let the creature attack nuclear power plants, the radiation will grow rapidly.
Shit. We need to evacuate New York City as soon as possible.
We only have 15 minutes left before it reaches Brooklyn. Unidentified creature. The creature seems to be growing every 10 minutes or so. And for anyone who is near or around the area the radiation is, they start to get sick or infected.
We need to send in reinforcements. Send the US military. We will also need some Air Force fighters. Wait. Did you say infected?
Breaking news. Here in the city of New York is being attacked by a creature that appeared out of the Atlantic Ocean. The creature seems to be covered in small levels of radiation, but if this creature reaches one of our nuclear power plants, its radiation will continue to increase. Please evacuate the city and wear masks when leaving your homes. The creature has turned towards Manhattan and left total destruction in Brooklyn. The city has been completely demolished, and the creature had reached a power plant in the middle of the city. Here are some pictures of the aftermath after the creature had ate the nuclear waste.
Jesus.
We also have new updates on the changes of the creature. As you can see, the creature's size has doubled and the radiation takes up half of Manhattan's park.
So what do we do now? I mean, we can't just nuke the creature. It literally feeds off of radiation. We're just gonna make it more powerful.
I think. Oh my god.
What?
The creature is heading towards John F. Kennedy International Airport.
What is that supposed to mean?
Sir, the creature we are dealing with right now is a plane. The creature is gonna spread its flesh like a virus.
Back in June 8, 1963, a creature named the B-37 had attacked the city of New York, killing millions after its rampage. After the creature completely destroyed the city, it changed its course from a nuclear power plant to John F. Kennedy International Airport. The B-37 completely destroyed the airport and the surrounding aircrafts that were in the path of the giant creature. Around 23 aircrafts have been totaled and over 6,320 passengers have lost their lives. The number is currently still unknown due to the bodies being hidden inside of the infected aircrafts. We have captured one infected aircraft that was handled differently than the other normal planes. The aircraft's registration is PH-buff and is in a good state of condition besides the big hole that is located on top of the airplane's fuselage. The passengers inside of the aircraft have all been mutated together, their flesh all combined. Witnesses say that they saw the infected aircraft bite down on the KLM aircraft and releasing a thick gas inside of the airplane. The aviation complex industry later arrived at the location and began to study the stages of mutated aircraft. Every hour the flesh inside of the aircraft began to mutate, taking on many forms. The industry took many photos of the airplane and its different stages. Some of the workers reported still hearing the passengers inside of the plane, screaming in pain and crying for help. The industry recorded different stages this specific plane has went through.
What the fuck? This isn't right. Holy shit!
Hello all JFK passengers. Currently, all flights have been canceled due to a request from the government. We are currently
Breaking news. Here in the city of New York is being attacked by a creature that appeared out of the Atlantic Ocean. The creature seems to be covered in small levels of radiation, but if this creature reaches one of our nuclear power plants, its radiation will continue to increase. Please evacuate the city and wear masks when leaving your homes.
Welcome to the aviation complex industry. We started this project right after the attack of New York City. After the attack, we began to study this creature and what the effects are to human bodies due to its radiation around itself. Our goal is to succeed on defeating this creature to avoid it being a global threat throughout the planet. We have captured 10 aircrafts that have been infected by the creature. When the creature encounters an aircraft, it grabs a nearby citizen, then proceeds to bites down on the living organism, then throws them inside of the aircraft. The body later then starts to get covered in living flesh, which then covers the entire body. After that stage, it proceeds to grow then spread throughout the aircraft, which will later then break apart and become alive. We will begin this test to show you how easily it is to spawn an infected aircraft.
Unknown aircraft has been detected near the San Francisco Bay. Please evacuate the premises immediately. Unknown aircraft has been detected near the San Francisco.
Welcome to the aviation complex industry. You are now a mutated remover. In this job, you will have to eliminate the mutated monsters that are roaming around the city. You will be equipped with a flamethrower, 2 layers of gloves, and a hazmat suit. Your job is to remove all of the mutated flesh that are left behind the creature. Also, you must document everything. Your suit will be equipped with a body cam to record everything. You will be dropped off in a city that has been destroyed by one of these creatures. You do get a choice. You can choose New York City, San Francisco, and San Antonio. If you ever encounter with a mutated creature, use your flamethrower towards it. It won't kill the creature, but it will slow it down.
東京湾から飛行機のような生き物が現れ、原子力発電所を探してうろうろしているようです。これは米国を攻撃したのと同じ生き物のようですが、町に迫害を引き起こさなかったため、こちらは落ち着いているようです。
We have now captured the B-37, which was near the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. It fell into one of our giant facilities, which is where it's being held. Updates on the B-37. The aircraft seems to have reached stage 3. It has now grown to at least 2,453 feet. There are a few changes on the creature, which by that I will read out. One is a pink, like glowing effect on its neck. 2, of course, is its growth. 3rd, 1 giant horn on each side of the legs. 4th, spikes have now started to grow out of the body to replace the dorsal fin. And 5th, near the stomach of the creature it seems to have bodies of human remains. One of my personal favorites. B-27. Anyways, updates on the creature. It has now grown up to 1,246 feet tall. 2. The creature had begun to grow fins on its legs. 3. The creature's legs seem to have a glow white effect. 4th, its flesh seems to be melting a little. 5th, the creature seems to be overheating but shows no reaction to it. Poor thing.
it was attacked by an infected aircraft. The military is currently making an attempt to defeat this creature before it reaches a nuclear power plant. Almost half of the Chicago skyline has been destroyed, leaving the iconic Willis Tower standing in the mist.
No, I won't let you.
We need to try.
You will end everyone if you do.
I'm sorry.
Bryan.
Help me with the baby. She's stuck.
Go out.
Mom, look.
The government is currently on the lookout for whoever sent that atomic bomb. Thousands of people lost their lives and hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives. The creature is currently missing and not a single sign of its language.
We are still looking for these aircrafts. They are known to be the largest planes in the world. We must destroy these planes before they become the reason of the end of humanity. We must face the consequences for creating these creatures.
Today's news takes place in Toronto Pearson International Airport. The airport is extremely busy due to the attacks in the US. Thousands of people are moving north towards Greenland for evacuation. Thousands of planes are falling from the sky. The aviation complex industry is currently finding a reason for this attack. It's happening everywhere.
Currently, thousands of planes have been falling out of the sky. The reason for this issue is because of the B-37's electromagnetic pulse. This led to all technology around the globe to shut off. Power sources, vehicles, and technology were all affected during this attack. It took about an hour for the power to turn back on. After the incident, people's bodies began to fuse together inside of the planes. Lately there had been 12 infected aircrafts spotted all around Canada. Some were even spotted swimming in the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean.
absorbed a huge amount of radiation, and we don't know where. We have to find a way to defeat this creature, since military attacks are no use.
There is one way. The B-27 is getting closer to Paris.
Greg, we can't. The B-37's pulse took out our power. Even our backup generators aren't working. I think we're just gonna have to watch.
Are you crazy? Thousands of lives are in our hands. Let alone we might get fired. I joined this team to get revenge on one of those creatures for killing my family. I'm not just gonna sit here and watch.
the sun will shine. Some folks can lose the blues.
He is still frozen in Antarctica. If we nuke the area, he will be able to break free and be able to consume the radiation of the atomic bomb.
Look, the plan might work, but there are consequences for this if we nuke Antarctica. Tsunamis may reach coastal cities, and global warming will be a bigger problem than what we are dealing with right now. People are depending on us. We can't risk any more lives.
Can't risk any more lives? Kenji, these creatures are able to erase mankind. If we don't do anything now, then we may have to face the extinction of humanity.
I'll see what I can do. But if anything goes wrong, it's on you.
Thank you both for coming here on time. I really appreciate it.
It's no problem, Mr. President.
So I've heard about this plan of yours. May you explain it to me in more detail?
Well, we know military forces and atomic weapons are no use towards these creatures, and they are able to regenerate even during the attacks. But during the San Antonio attack, the A-38 and the B-75 were attacking each other with atomic lasers. The A-38 was able to defeat the B-75 with a power called the atomic bomb, which gave me the idea. If these creatures can die by atomic lasers, then that means they can die by an atomic breath, which is hotter than the sun itself.
So what are you trying to say here?
He's suggesting that we release God's...
I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm willing to take that risk. So many bad things could happen if we do release him.
I agree, Isamu. We don't even know if he'll even be on our side.
You guys have to take the risk. Rather we let him fight these creatures off, or we die with them.
Fine, I will agree on this, but I can't be the only one. There has to be a vote. You'll have to talk to the other moderators.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Air quality has gotten worse throughout the time of the attacks. Everyone must remain indoors to avoid the radiation that is spreading around the world. The government is now giving out an air quality cleaner to remove the remaining radiation inside of your homes. The sky has been yellow throughout the past week and has been getting darker. Reports say that as soon as this incident started, people were getting infected. If you decide to leave your homes, make sure to wear masks to protect yourself from the radiation. There will be military patrol around every block to make sure nobody leaves their homes unless it is an emergency. Today, a new infected aircraft has been spotted in the middle of Shanghai. But this is the least violent infected aircraft so far. The creature just walks and doesn't really pay attention to the citizens. The creature still causes damage, but not like the other mutants. This infected aircraft is now named the DC-10, which, as you can tell by the name, uses the head of a DC-10. Right now, the military is leaving this creature alone, as they do not want any trouble with the creature.
Like everyone else, we are trying to survive this apocalyptic event that is happening everywhere around the globe. What we know know so far is that these creatures are very violent, and they cause massive destruction. It is still unknown to why these creatures are destroying cities. So, how do you survive this apocalyptic event? First, you have to always be wearing a mask when outside, because not only are you breathing in the dust clouds that come from collapsing buildings, but you are also breathing in the radiation that comes from these creatures. Second, always have a weapon on you the entire time, as the infected creatures might be roaming around the area. If an infected person gets inside your home, put on your mask and hide. Only engage when the mutants have found.
A cruise ship had split in half in the Indian Ocean. There were 1,256 passengers, and only 985 passengers were rescued out of the ship. Many bystanders say that a massive shark fin, made of flesh, appeared out of the ocean and crashed into the ship. DC-10 was spotted consuming radiation from one of our nuclear reactors. We assume that the creature is just feeding on radiation, but the aviation complex industry is saying that it is sensing a threat and it is preparing for it.
attacked the city of Shanghai, there had been an increase of radiation throughout the area. So if you are in a 10-mile radius near the city, evacuate immediately before it is too late. There will be military aircrafts in every airport to help you evacuate the city. Make sure not to bring your weapon.
decided to study the destruction and how much damage it can cause. We can inform that we are designing a mechanical creature that will be under our control and be able to defeat these creatures. It's time that we start fighting back against these fleshy monsters and gain our nation back to how it was.
Captured multiple people that have been infected by the radiation from these creatures. We've placed them inside of metal rooms to see what the effects are to a human body when it was exposed to the radiation from these creatures.
Godzilla, a creature that was once king of the monsters and ruled the planet, was released out of Antarctica and was seen swimming around the Indian Ocean. Ever since Godzilla was released, he has absorbed half of the radiation that was polluting in the sky from these creatures. Godzilla was last seen emerging from Tokyo Bay in the destroyed city that was once attacked by the B-37. Antarctica, it wasn't where Godzilla was from. In 1936, 3 teams discovered a stone, which was in the shape of a triangle, had a dinosaur head and had a pink glow effect around the stone. The teams thought it was some type of crystal, and they decided to break it open. So they threw a heavy rock onto the stone. After the rock made connection with the stone, a bright pink flash appeared right in front of them, blinding them in the process. After that, a large dinosaur creature with spines on its back appeared and began roaring non-stop. The creature started walking towards the town, completely ignoring the kids. The creature began destroying the town and lasering it to pieces. After the creature had finished the town off, it walked into the ocean never to be seen again, until now. In ancient paintings, show that there are more kaiju stones hidden somewhere around the planet, as they show 5 triangles and the symbol of the names. First is G, which symbolizes for Godzilla. Second is K, for Godzilla. Third is R, for Roach. Then S, for Shimu, which we have found buried in the ice in Antarctica and is held heavily in our facility. And last is B for Bryan.
Breaking news. An infected aircraft has appeared in the middle of downtown Houston. The city is currently under evacuation. Ever since the infected aircraft has appeared, Godzilla has changed course and is heading towards Houston. The C-90 has taken Godzilla somewhere out in the Atlantic Ocean. There has yet to be any sightings of Godzilla or the C-90. The aviation complex industry and ourselves are trying to find where these creatures went.
kaiju has been spotted in the waters of Miami. The federal-wide kaiju industry report that this new creature is named Biolante. The creature hasn't caused any damage at all towards the city, but it has been consuming and destroying all of the planes that are in Miami International Airport.
Biolante has been released from its gem. Biolante first appeared in the Amazon rainforest, where it then traveled through the waters, then appeared in Miami. It is still unknown to who or what broke the gem, but all that matters is that the creature is now loose. Biolante hasn't caused any destruction towards the city or caused any harm towards the citizens, but it has been consuming multiple planes in Miami International Airport. We have multiple theories as to why this creature was consuming planes.
Downtown Seattle was attacked by an infected aircraft named the IL-76. The creature caused massive destruction, leaving the city in billions of dollars in damage. Multiple people have been infected during this attack. Some citizens were trying to evacuate out of the city by plane. After the creature attacked a nuclear power station, it headed toward Seattle-Tacoma International Airport.
Multiple mega-infected aircrafts are coming out of the ground all around Europe and Asia. These creatures are one of the biggest infected aircrafts that are recorded yet. If you are in any of these countries, leave now. I can't do this anymore. I have to go to my family.
Has there been any updates?
Yes, there have been a total of 4 infected AN-124s, 2 in Europe and another 2 in Asia. These creatures seem to be measured over 3,000 feet tall. They can be an extreme threat throughout our planet.
Do you think Godzilla and Biollante will stand a chance?
I hope so. But if not, we might have to release another kaiju.
Like who?
Shimu, the kaiju that caused the Ice Age and is a mother of all kaijus collected. She will probably be the one to defeat these giant monsters, as she has defeated creatures like this in the past.
Can we release her now?
Sadly not. We need to wait for government orders. Right now, he is planning on releasing this robot Godzilla soon. I don't know what his plan is, but it better be good.
All right, be ready to open fire.
City, we have collected leftover flesh that was left behind the creature during the attack. We have discovered new information about the flesh of these creatures and where it came from. 1936, the day Godzilla was released and attacked the city of San Francisco. While Godzilla was destroying the city, some of its flesh detached from the body due to the fact that the military was fighting back against this creature. The flesh is able to live on its own and be able to evolve all on its own. There are many forms these creatures can evolve into which we are not able to name them all. The creatures even have the ability to change their forms anytime and anywhere. Somehow, these creatures have made their return and are now turning against Godzilla himself. They all have the same abilities as him, but some are even more powerful than Godzilla's atomic breath. But there is one thing we still haven't solved. If Godzilla had been frozen in Antarctica, who or what brought these creatures back?
After the C5 galaxy knocked out Godzilla with its atomic shockwave, he was able to evolve into his second form. But unfortunately, the C5 galaxy has already left the area and is heading towards Asia. The reason for this is because the AN-124 had left a loud roar that was heard all around the world. Locals around downtown Dallas have captured Biollante seemingly sliding around the city, letting out multiple roars, as if letting out warnings to civilians throughout the city. The creature that attacked downtown Chicago last year has made its return. The aviation complex industry states that the mutant is in its full form, as the creature had been attacked by a nuclear bomb that was mysteriously sent toward the B-78. The C5 galaxy makes an appearance in the city of Kuala Lumpur. People are in extreme chaos as the creature makes an attack towards the city.
Should they prepare for defense, Sergeant?
Yes. Send all the available units towards the C5. And we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay, sir.
All Kuala Lumpur citizens are to be immediately evacuated out of the city. as Godzilla was seen to head towards the C5, which is in the middle of Kuala Lumpur. Reports come in from the aviation complex industry informing that if these creatures meet again, they will cause devastating destruction throughout the area, and a massive level of radiation will pollute the region. Evacuate immediately before it is too late.
Godzilla and the C5 are walking really slow towards each other.
Why's that?
The industry still doesn't know, but they are assuming that it has to do with a challenge.
Challenge, you say?
Yeah. Since both of the creatures are really powerful, they are challenging each other to who wins the fight.
sent to go drop off a delivery.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to ask that you step out of the car for me, sir.
The United States government has ordered a mass reconstruction project around the entire country. Looks like humanity will have a second chance after all. The city reconstruction has began. Millions of construction workers have started the projects on redesigning New York City first.
Boeing, Airbus, McDonnell Douglas, and Lockheed all plan on retiring every single aircraft in their fleets, as so another situation like this would never happen again. The once safest transportation vehicle had now become a deadly machine that once almost erased mankind. This may be the end of another era, and now we have to say goodbye to the planes that once flew in the sky.
Good morning, Mr. Kenny. I finally have the records with results within the next attack. Tokyo City will be our next target. Their city has nuclear power plants almost everywhere around the east. There is an estimate of around 14 million citizens around the entire city. Our goal will be to eliminate at least 5 million people in Tokyo Bay, or the city center. Of course, the federal-wide kaiju industry will try and interfere with the mutant, probably with one of their mechs to defend, but we have a few tricks up our sleeves. Please report back to me when you can, Mr. Kenny. Start the evacuation orders of the building and leave Tokyo. If you would like to observe the fight, you can get a ride in one of our attack helicopters.
Shit.
Reaching Tokyo Air Base in approximately 5 to 7 minutes.
Copy that, Roger 3. Start to make your approach on runway 4. Take one here.
Landing gears deployed. Check.
We have your delivery. Now give us our...
I'm afraid that won't be necessary.
Why is that?
Give me good news, Amanda.
We got reports from the Downtown Community Center in Chicago. Seems that a mid-class infected aircraft has appeared in the area.
I said give me good news. That doesn't sound like good news.
I'm sorry, sir, but there isn't any. Our military defenses are no use. The mech is still down, and the creature that is located in Chicago is now heading towards the other kaiju in Tokyo.
Shit. So what? We can't let this become another apocalypse. Use every military equipment we have towards these creatures. Right away.
Yes, sir.
Approaching target. Left grid lock. Begin.
Mr. President, what is your plan on, let's say, defeating this mutant?
Well, we already have military personnel on their way to Tokyo with almost half of our defense systems. If that doesn't work, then we will have to rely on a mech to help us out.
Why do you think the mech is the solution to defeating this creature? What if it has the same result as the mech in Tokyo?
It won't. The mech we have is a lot stronger, faster, bigger, and even equipped with more weaponry.
Mr. President, do you think this is the start of a new apocalypse?
Only if we let it become an apocalypse. 7 years ago, we were weak. We didn't fight back due to their radiation and the amount of planes that got infected. But now, we have evolved. But so have they. We will use every resource and power to fight back and win this war.
The mutant is heading east towards the power plant. When we reach the target, give it everything we've got. We can't let this be another New York City.
Yes, sir. Copy that.
civilians have died during the attack, mostly due to massive levels of radiation. The Japanese government has put a suspension on the aviation complex industry due to the aircraft on the Mutant containing the company's logo. Massive protests around the Kaiju facility command the company to release a new monster to battle the new mutants and stop them from killing any more people. Both creatures have returned back into the Pacific Ocean due to a loud, mysterious roar that came from a large mass that was detected entering the region. The Japanese Navy and the United States Navy SEALs have planned on exploring the entire Pacific Ocean to distract the creature from entering any populated areas. As for the flying mutant fighter jets from the United States Air Force have planned on shooting the mutant down to also avoid it entering populated areas.
My name is Bryan. I'm one of the few survivors that survived the attack on Tokyo. Millions of